Let me tell you something that happened to me once, and I want you to really listen, because this might be the most important thing you hear all week, possibly all year. And if you are the kind of person who has been working hard, doing all the right things, saying your affirmations in the mirror every morning while your coffee gets cold, and yet somehow, the money just is not flowing the way you know it should be, then pull up a chair, get comfortable, and let us have a little talk tonight. Now I know what you are thinking. You are thinking, here we go. Another person about to tell me to think positive thoughts, and the money will just rain down from the sky like confetti at a parade. And I want you to know, I hear you, I see you, and I am not here to do that to you. What I am here to do is something far more interesting, far more practical, and honestly a little bit more fun than that. So, let us start at the very beginning, because that is always the best place to start. And the beginning of your money problem, my dear friend, is not your bank account. It is not your boss. It is not the economy. It is not even that cousin who borrowed $200 from you in 2019 and has not mentioned it since. The beginning of your money problem is something that is happening right now, tonight, while you are sitting here watching this video. And it is something that will continue happening tonight while you sleep. And this is actually very good news, because tonight while you sleep, we are going to fix it. Now stay with me here, because I want to paint you a picture. Imagine that you have a garden, a beautiful garden, full of the most extraordinary potential. The soil is rich, the sun is shining, the rain comes at just the right moments, and everything about this garden is perfectly designed to grow the most magnificent, abundant, spectacular flowers and fruits you have ever seen in your life. Now imagine that every single morning you walk out into that garden, and instead of planting seeds, instead of watering what is already growing, you walk out there and you start pulling things up. You yank out the seedlings. You pour a little bit of doubt on the soil. You tell the garden it is not working fast enough. You compare your garden to your neighbor's garden and declare yours a failure. And then you walk back inside, wondering why nothing is growing. That garden is your mind. And that is exactly what most of us have been doing with our relationship to money our entire lives. And we have been doing it so automatically, so unconsciously, so thoroughly ingrained in our daily routine that we do not even notice we are doing it anymore. It has become as natural as breathing, except instead of breathing life in, we are breathing abundance out. And here is the part that I really want you to sit with for a moment, because this is where it gets fascinating and a little bit uncomfortable at the same time. The reason your money is not flowing, the real reason, the underneath it all, root of the whole, tree reason, is because somewhere in your subconscious mind, and I know this sounds dramatic, but please stay with me, somewhere deep in the basement of your beautiful brain, there is a belief that says money is hard to get, or that you do not deserve it, or that wanting more makes you greedy, or that people like you do not just have abundance show up in their lives. That is for other people, people with connections, people with luck, people who were born into the right circumstances. And here is the delicious irony of the whole situation. You have been working so hard against yourself that you have become genuinely brilliant at it. You have mastered the art of blocking your own flow. And tonight, we are going to uninstall that particular talent and replace it with something far more useful. Now, I want to tell you about the law that governs all of this. And I want to do it in a way that does not make your eyes glaze over. Because I know the moment someone says the word law in a spiritual context, half of you immediately start thinking about whether you remembered to take the laundry out of the dryer. So let us talk about this practically. There is a principle, older than any of us, older than any book that has ever been written, that says the universe, life, the great organizing intelligence of everything, whatever you want to call it, operates on a system of return. What you send out comes back. What you put into the field of your life comes back, multiplied. Now, this is not magic. This is not wishful thinking. This is actually how the most brilliant minds in physics, in neuroscience, in psychology, have been describing reality for the better part of a century. They just use different words for it. When you send out fear about money, when you wake up at 3 in the morning doing math in your head that makes you feel like you are drowning, when you walk past some. So you've noticed it too. The money isn't flowing. It trickles in, hesitates, looks around your bank account like it just entered the wrong house, and quietly slips back out the door. You work hard, you try, you plan, you even budget sometimes heroically, and yet money still behaves like a shy guest who never stays long enough to help with the rent. Now, let me begin by saying something that may feel like a warm cup of tea to your spirit. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not cursed. You are not unlucky. And contrary to what your relatives may have suggested at family gatherings, you are not bad with money. You are simply running an invisible program, one that was written long before you ever checked your first balance. You see, money does not respond first to effort. It responds to agreement, to belief, to expectation, to the quiet emotional instructions you give it, especially the ones you repeat while brushing your teeth or lying awake at 2 a.m., calculating bills like a mathematician of worry. And tonight, yes, tonight, while you sleep, we are going to begin rewriting that agreement, because money flows where it feels welcomed, expected, and directed. Let me explain. Have you ever noticed how two people can work the same job, earn similar salaries, yet live in completely different financial realities? One always has opportunities, bonuses, lucky breaks. The other? Constant emergencies, car repairs, sudden expenses that appear like uninvited guests with luggage. This is not chance. This is consciousness in motion. Money is energy with instructions. And most people, without realizing it, are giving it eviction notices all day long. I never have enough. Money goes as soon as it comes. I'm just trying to survive. Now imagine saying to a guest in your home, "You won't stay long anyway. You'll probably leave. There's never enough space for you here." How long would they remain? Exactly. Money listens not to your wishes, but to your dominant declarations. Now don't worry, I'm not here to scold you. I'm here to liberate you. Because once you see the pattern, you can change the pattern. Let's look at the real challenge. The core problem is not income. It is circulation, flow. You don't suffer from lack of money. You suffer from blocked channels. Like a river clogged with debris, the supply slows, not because the source dried up, but because the passage narrowed. And what creates these blockages? Fear, resentment, guilt about having more than others, secret beliefs that wealth is greedy, corrupt, or not spiritual. Oh yes, many wonderful, kind people unknowingly push money away because deep inside they believe goodness requires struggle. But money is not moral or immoral. It is obedient. It magnifies the heart that holds it. Give it to a generous soul, it builds schools. Give it to a fearful mind, it builds prisons of anxiety. So tonight we begin with a simple but powerful framework. Expectation, emotion, permission, flow. Expectation is the signal you send ahead of you. Emotion is the magnet that energizes it. Permission is the gate that either opens or closes. Flow is the result. If you expect bills, fear bills, and feel guilty about wealth, you unconsciously shut the gate. If you expect provision, feel gratitude, and permit increase, the gate opens. Now here is where humor helps us swallow truth. Some people pray for money, and then panic when they check their account 5 minutes later. They say, "Universe, send abundance." Then refresh their banking app like it's a slot machine. Faith does not mean anxiety with polite words.